At this time, we're back. Eric Deso here, joined by my good friend Nicole. Nicole, how long have we know each other, you think? Is it like over a decade now, probably, right?
It is definitely over a decade,
Over a
and it's
decade
so
in the
good to see
charter,
you.
yeah, in the charter school recruiting world. So I'm always interested when people take the plunge out of being a recruiter inside one place. Give folks a scoop on your timeline for making that decision and what you're up to these days.
Yeah, um, it was a big decision, and, as you know, because we were in the talent work together for so long, I spent a lot of time building systems, that I was really proud of and the team was really proud of at Bright Star, both the recruitment and hiring side as well as the teacher and staff development side, and felt really proud of the systems that we created and was in a place where I was starting to think about what was next to spread my impact. And I also personally have two young daughters at home. And so that motivated the decision as well to be able to find more just balance and flexibility while still making a meaningful impact in talent systems work. Was excited to bring all of the best practices I was able to build from the ground up and operationalize at Bright Star to my role as a talent and people systems consultant. I think that the transition was not one that I took lightly, and I've had lots of conversations with people about potential transitions that folks are thinking about. And one thing that I have found is something that anchors me in this, because I feel a lot of imposter syndrome sometimes, is that the meaningful work of being a consultant is also powerful, although it's different than being someone inside the system. But because I'm so aligned on wanting to make an impact for kids and schools and having effective classrooms, it's a different lens of doing that work. And so that really grounds me and motivates me in doing the people and talent systems work from a different lens. And I think about the times that I brought in consultants
Yeah,
to work with me as a talent leader were times when I really needed someone to thought
charter bar.
partner with. And it was a problem that was really important to the organization. So I've found a lot of meaning and love for the consultant work, although I, miss being a part of a charter school network team for sure.
Yeah. I've talked to a few folks who are in positions similar to mine and what yours was, who are thinking about the consulting world. What would you say to them has to be true for that transition to be successful now that you've actually done it?
That's a really good question. Yeah. I think that what has to be true is that you have your anchor of your mission and what you're trying to do with the consulting work. What do you want to focus on that both meets your personal mission and lights you up inside, as well as work that is important to organizations? And having that continually ground you is something that I think helps people succeed and has helped me succeed, because I'm so curious
Mm.
about the things that make the biggest impact and that are successful for systems and schools, that it allows me to stay in that lane really authentically, talking to people about needs and supporting needs where they match my skill set.
And do you feel like you have to have some contracts in the bag already, or a little bit of one-off experience with an org or two already to make that jump, or is just kind of taking your talents out into the market is doable? What would be your advice on the kind of financial considerations just starting for folks if they're wondering if they should make this jump or not?
Yeah, it's a huge jump to make. And I think for us in talent, we talk to people all the time, right, about compensation and benefits and that security that people need and matching that. So I think folks having an idea of the type of income that they're trying to produce and how feasible it is to get to that within a certain point of scaling up in your consulting business is important to keep in mind. And then if someone's interested in starting out, I encourage folks to talk to lots of other people that have recently or are long term in this work and have scaled, because there are so many different ways to do it, is what I've found. A lot of folks start before they transition, right? And a long time before they transition and build that slowly. And some folks just dive headfirst in. And I've met folks that have done both successfully. Um, yeah.
Now that you're outside of one place, what are you thinking about that maybe you weren't thinking about when you were kind of locked into the Bright Star experience? Has your aperture widened to include now things you have never thought about or hadn't thought about in a while? What's top of mind for you these days?
Yeah, very much so. I feel like my talent perspective has expanded quite a bit, and I'm sure as you do, listening to folks and facilitating conversations with folks in talent, get those multiple perspectives on how people are approaching the biggest problems. I've been lucky in the last year to work with national nonprofits as well as local charter school organizations and a traditional school district. So
Hmm.
I've gotten those range of perspectives to be able to shape and develop my thinking on talent work. One of the things that I know is super timely that I'm curious if folks would want to talk about is the current contract negotiations
Hmm.
happening in Los Angeles, and more broadly in the state. I think it's a very unique look at a lot of the challenges in school systems that
Yeah.
are popping up, and a very um, like interesting experiment to look at that in the sense of how could talent systems develop to be able to support what teachers and schools need, both in the contract negotiations process and before a school system might be in negotiations or in a unionized environment. um, I've been working with um, an organization that is currently in initial contract negotiations. And what I've found is that the best version is when you're engaging folks really authentically. And by folks, I mean teachers and staff, people that are trying to um, sustain and um, trying to serve their students the best they can, while the organization is also trying to do their very best to serve students well. And what I'm seeing in like the news around LAUSD, SFUSD, and others is that like we have two parties, right, that want the same things,
Hmm.
but engagement of those two parties is such that they hadn't been able to meet in a way that would both sustain schools and sustain educators.
Right.
So thinking a lot about like employee engagement, right? And
Mm.
development opportunities and total rewards packages, and having those um, staff voice systems in place that will allow us to have the conversations in a less intense environment.
Yeah. Well, last thing, if folks want to hire you, if they want to bring your talent brain over to their org, what's the best way to find you? Is it LinkedIn? Is it a website? Give folks the best way to contact you.
Yeah, LinkedIn, Nicole Wellman Noble, and I love conversations. I'm curious about what people are doing best practice wise and anything employee engagement. Mix between strategy and talent is my zone of core impact. And yeah, it's really nice to check in with you again.
I know I miss having you as a friendly rival across town and stealing our people and we're stealing your people. Those were the fun days, right? Of trying to outdo each other with goodness, trying to convince people to come work for us. It's yeah, it's been a minute since we've had a good friendly rivalry going, but I'm excited for your new adventure here and excited to hear what things you learned because yeah, I was like I was saying, kind of getting locked into one place. I feel like I miss sometimes some of the more interesting combos out in the talent space ed world, especially like unions and districts, which isn't our jam so much. So it's good hearing all this stuff that you're working on. Yeah,
Thank you,
of
Eric.
course.
And I am hopeful we'll stay in touch, even beyond the competitive landscape of LA charter school talent.
Nice, nice for sure. Just don't start a rival podcast, and we'll be fine. Sounds good.
Definitely not.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. We'll put episode description notes up that has all of Nicole's good contact info in there. Thanks for listening. Until next time, catch you soon.